Okay, I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Sacramento First 5 Commission for Monday, January 12th, 2026. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll and establish a quorum?
Yes, sir. Chair Serna.
Here.
Commissioner Wesley.
Here.
Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia. Not here. Commissioner Gordon.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Casirier. Not here. Commissioner Katari, not here today. Commissioner Moak.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Kennedy, not here. Commissioner Hassett. Here. Commissioner Williams.
Here.
Commissioner Evans, not here today. Commissioner Guerra.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Boston.
Here.
And Commissioner Kravis-Swartz.
Here.
Thank you. We have quorum.
Very good. If you could please read our statement.
This meeting of the First 5 Sacramento Commission is live and recorded with closed captioning. It is cablecast on Metro Cable Channel 14, the Local Government Affairs Channel, and the Comcast and DirecTV Uverse cable systems. It is also live streamed at metro14live.saccounty.gov. Today's meeting replays Saturday, January 17th at 2 p.m. on Metro Cable Channel 14. Once posted, the recording of this meeting can be viewed on demand at youtube.com/metrocable14.
All right, very good. If you'd please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'd like to again welcome everyone to our first 5 Commission meeting of 2026. Hope everyone had a safe and healthy and prosperous holiday season, and looking forward to carrying out the business of the First 5 Commission here in Sacramento County for my final year. I want to welcome my colleague and compadre here to my right, City Council Member Eric Guerra, who is our freshly installed Vice Chair, and looking forward to, again, all of our business ahead of us, important business ahead of us, not just today, but every day, as it relates to the health, safety, welfare, and education of our youngest constituents. Again, a reminder, you're certainly welcome to address the Commission on any item that's on our published agenda, or any item that is not on our published agenda. We ask that you please complete a speaker slip. The clerk will help you with that, and I will call you in order on the appropriate agenda item that you sign up for. We ask that you please keep your testimony to 2 minutes. That way anyone that wishes to address the Commission has that opportunity. So with that, Madam Clerk, our first item.
Item number 1, approval of December 1st, 2025 draft action summary.
Okay, very good. Any commissioner wish to pull or wish to make a comment on the draft summary or make any suggested changes? Don't see anyone raising their hand. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone sign up to speak on this matter?
No, sir.
All right, then at this point, I would entertain a motion.
Move approval, Mr. Chair.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Chair Serna.
Aye.
Commissioner Wesley.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Gordon.
Aye.
Commissioner Guerra.
Aye.
Commissioner Boston.
Aye.
And Commissioner Moak.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
All right, very good. Thank you. All right, next item, please.
Item number 2, recognition of Rob Reiner's contribution to First 5.
Very good. I think it's somewhat appropriate that that's the sound we hear to introduce this item. Executive Director Galelo, did you want to introduce or tee this up a little bit?
Sure. I think you all know and have heard in the news and the email that I forwarded that the visionary behind First 5 passed away last month. And We just wanted to have the first meeting of this year to take a minute to reflect on Rob Reiner, his legacy, and I have to say, it was a long, strange trip that brought Rob Reiner to us, and the advocate that he is for young children. And none of us would be in this room right now without him. And just speak that into the room. He was just the guiding force behind Proposition 10. And I know our chair wanted to say a few words, and I think some of the other commissioners might as well.
Yeah, thank you. In my earlier briefing with Julie, I not too long after Mr. Reiner's passing, thought it was very appropriate that we set aside some time at today's commission meeting to reflect on his legacy. As Julie mentioned, none of us would be here in this setting, in this context, doing the great work that he envisioned to improve the lives of California's youngest people. And I think his passing took us all by great surprise. Such a tragedy for so many reasons, but not the least of which we lose one of the most dedicated, committed advocates in the state of California. And quite frankly, the intellectual capital that man had, not just at the time in 1997 when Prop 10 went before California's voters to propose taxing tobacco products that would then provide the treasure for what we do here, not just we, the commission, but what we, everyone in this room and outside this room, our nonprofit network of great individuals and organizations in this community and communities across the state that fulfill the mission of First 5, which again, as we all know, is to really focus on the first 5 years of life of human beings here in the state of California, and how best to thoughtfully give them the best opportunity to succeed. I was a huge fan, am a huge fan of Mr. Reiner's in terms of his other incredible contributions in the world of entertainment. In fact, I just had an opportunity to see on a flight coming back from vacation, Spinal Tap, The End Continues, and he's not just directing that, but he's starring it as well. And so it was difficult to watch in some respects, but he's brought so much joy as well in that profession. And I know there's others here at the dais who may want to chime in, but we would be completely remiss if we didn't take this time to reflect on the legacy of Rob Reiner. So with that, I'll open the floor.
Commissioner Wesley, try not to be too emotional. I actually had an opportunity to work with Rob Reiner during the time they had envisioned creating First 5 before it even started. I was a staffer at an organization called the California Association for the Education of Young Children, and Rob Reiner and Dr. Patricia Phipps, who happens to be an African-American woman, leading that organization, said we need some type of governing statewide body to fund early education. And back then I was 20 years younger, and I was a single mom of 5, and I was just a staffer in the early education field. And Rob would come through on a regular basis, and we were fangirling and fanboying him and making him the celebrity that he was. And he wasn't really responsive to all of that. He just said, call me Rob. And so we got to know him just as Rob. And pretty soon Rob would start taking care of us, like he's getting us lunches, and he goes, you look really tired today, and those kids must be a lot, and we appreciate all the good work that you staffers do. And so when I saw on the news over the holiday someone who we were a celebrity of, that he allowed us to call him Rob, and that he's not here, and because of him, I'm here, we are here together as a collective on this dais. And I was a single mother at the time, and so I was able to take advantage of First5 services. I now, full circle, sit here as a commissioner of our local First5 Sacramento. And I just want to say that he really was a good soul. And when I was in preparation for Kwanzaa, I saw on the news, and it stopped me in my tracks because he cared about kids, and it didn't matter what background. And the work we do with our ready work and our systems work and the way that we are very conscious here at First5 Sacramento that other First5s are modeling is exactly what Rob had in mind. So I just want to conclude with that, but thank you, Commissioner Cerna and Chair Cerna for those good words, because he really was a good soul. And may he rest in peace.
Thank you, Commissioner Wesley. Appreciate that. Any others want to say anything? All right, very good. Certainly, anyone here in Chambers is welcome to reflect as well. You're invited to come to the podium if you're inspired. But if not, I think it's safe to say we all share the same sadness for his passing. And again, it would be inappropriate, quite frankly, if we let this day pass without that reflection. So, as was mentioned, may he rest in eternal peace, and may we continue his legacy. It's important work. So, all right, very good. Next item, please.
Item number 3, public comments on off-agenda items.
All right, as was stated earlier, this is the public's opportunity to address the commission on any item that's not on our agenda. We are prohibited from any lengthy discussion or decision-making relative to subject matter you might present to the commission. Brown Act prohibits that. But again, this is your opportunity to give us your 2 cents. I don't see anyone rushing to the podium, so I'm going to conclude that no one wants to give us their 2 cents on items not on the agenda today. So we'll go on to the next item, please.
Item number 4, Executive Director's Report.
Okay.
Good afternoon, commissioners. Lovely to see you all and say fare thee well to Rob Reiner. Amazing man. Couple of updates for you today. Wanted to make note that the Birth and Beyond Family Resource Centers are going to be opening their doors for their site visits, where First5 staff and commissioners and advisory committee members are invited to come in. So we will share the schedule with you when those are on the calendar later this spring. It's always a great time to go in, meet the folks. They typically bring in some parents that you can talk to and talk about the services, and it's wonderful. I wanted to give a brief update around some CalWORKs home visiting funding that was a loss to the county. Last year, about $1 million was reduced from our Sacramento County allocation for CalWORKs home visiting, and we were able to absorb that within the Department of Human Assistance, which is where this funding goes directly to them before it comes through First5 and then makes its way to Birth and Beyond. This last year, the reduction was $750,000, and that was extremely unexpected hit. Our partners in public health actually absorbed that cut in order to maintain all services and functioning at Birth and Beyond. So I say this because I think that if there is a future cut, there really is nowhere left to go with this. And so just our advocacy, we're already working at the state level with our own association to try to restore that funding and to make sure future funding cuts don't happen. But I just wanted you to be aware of that. And the program that did absorb it was the Nurse Family Partnership Program, which will still provide services in Sacramento County, but fewer families will be served there in order to keep Birth and Beyond whole at this
Julie,
time.
can I interrupt?
Yes.
So relative to what First5 California is ramping up to do, or perhaps doing already, to play some defense on prospective cuts, what have you had any conversations about how you might enlist not just myself but other commissioners here, since Capitol's in our backyard, to help them, flank them when they do make appointments with key legislators? Or we're in the beginning of the throes of budget season here, so it's one of the unique abilities that we have because of our geography. So any thoughts about that?
Would love to be able to offer you up as assistance and support to that. So yes, I will absolutely reach out when the opportunity arises.
We happen to have some very, very capable and knowledgeable people who have spent time in the building, so I would
thank you for that.
Encourage you to think strategically about that possibility.
Will do. Our SAC Family Connect, we're doing our annual summit. So this brings together, last year, or the last time we did this, we had about 140 community members come together. We're looking at over 250 now. We're hosting it in February 19th in Natomas, at the Natomas Community Center. It's a beautiful building. We invite you all. Right after this, we're going to send a meeting invite to try to get it on your calendar, so please accept if you can. The theme is partnering with parents and bringing them a seat at our table, which is something that I talk about quite frequently, is bringing parents and community to our table. So it's going to be wonderful. It's going to be parent-led. Many of the folks who you will see there are graduates of our Parent Leadership Training Institute. They have planned it and are basically responsible for all pieces of it. So I think it's going to be a fabulous day, and looking forward. Chair Cerna is giving an opening speech address, and then Chair Guerra is going, or Vice Chair Guerra is going to help us with one of the father panels. I hope that's not a surprise to you. Okay. Okay, good. So very much looking forward to that. Look out for the invite, and more information coming your way.
He will be doing that in both Spanish and English, too.
Por supuesto.
Yeah.
Yes. We are embracing our language justice priority for sure. In other news, some things that happened since the executive director's report was printed that I wanted to just draw to your attention. One is the governor's 26-27 budget was just released on Friday. That's nearly $350 million budget. And it does look like there's a $2.9 billion shortfall in that. I haven't gotten all of the information back from our association about any sort of potential impacts to 0 to 5, but on the surface, it looks like there's nothing major of concern other than one thing that's still in there was the cuts to Medi-Cal dental program. As you know, First5 is really deep in the Medi-Cal dental world. You all have invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in fluoridation and in building out children's dental clinics across the county. Those clinics depend on dentists who accept Medi-Cal, as do all. We need those dentists, and without the funding, so the budget currently as it stands eliminates Prop 56 supplemental funding for dentists. So it basically, if a dentist is going to serve someone on Medi-Cal now, they will get paid what they were paid 30 years ago without the Prop 56 extra funds. So now the $2 tobacco tax, that is Prop 56, is still happening. They're just using the money in a different way. Or this is what's proposed. So we've already written a letter on behalf of Medi-Cal Dental Advisory Committee here in Sacramento. We've asked the Sacramento County Health Authority to also submit a letter to the governor. But right now, it's in there, and so we're hoping that advocacy between now and the May revise, that might be changed. The impact of this is, it would be devastating, because we know that dentists lose money if they see a Medi-Cal patient. with this.
It's a
once this money's
huge
gone.
disincentive. Real quick,
Yeah.
I have to admit ignorance. I don't know the details of Prop 56 as well as others, but how much latitude does the proposition give to whomever to use funding, tax collection, in different ways? In other words, is it
Right.
is it carte blanche? Is it very surgical? I mean,
Yeah. So one of the things that the voters passed this ballot initiative on was the fact that it was going to augment dentists and medical providers, again, pediatricians and doctors seeing Medi-Cal patients as well, will get a supplemental payment out of it. That's how the ballot initiative was written. And in my mind, much like when the governor's budget included redirecting Proposition $10, some of you have been around long enough, remember this, about 15 years ago, one of the first 5 commissions had to sue in order to say, you can't redirect the money because that's not what the voters, approved. So CDA, California Dental Association, and others are talking about a potential lawsuit
Good.
To stop this because it really does not seem to fit with what the voters thought that they were approving. So we are definitely tracking that and working on advocacy. In other news, the budget does fully fund the state's universal transitional kindergarten program, so we were tracking that. That's happening, as well as before and after school programming at elementary schools. So that's a positive that's happening, but there's some negatives in there. The other thing that happened on January 6th is that pesky January 6th date. The Trump administration, citing unsubstantiated fraud claims, froze funding for child care across 3 major programs in 5 states, including California. That's about $5 billion just in California alone. And when I reached out to Child Action Inc. to ask them, what's the local impact of that? It was about 2,000 kids would immediately be cut from child care rolls. So the Attorney General filed a lawsuit. We got a temporary restraining injunction on that. But clearly, this is one to watch because that is also going to have a devastating impact. The freeze is until we provide the federal administration with some data that, from a webinar I attended, is not easily collected, not easily disaggregated, would result in quite a significant period of time in order to provide all of that, and just extremely disruptive to families and children. So we're looking at that too. And then finally, the last thing I'll say is just a heads up, we had put on an additional meeting in February of this year as a placeholder in case we needed to do some more work on equity in action, the largest part you're going to see today. But we do, in fact, need to keep that February meeting. We have 2 equity in action contracts that will be coming to you that aren't a part of today's awards to the grantees, but one is around our equitable evaluation of this initiative, and the second is for a fiscal agent for those mini grants that are coming out of the initiative. So, so hold that calendar. It should be on your calendars. Please know that we would not be canceling that meeting. Happy to answer any questions.
Great, thank you, Julie. Commissioner Wesley.
I wanted to share that for the freeze on the 3 programs, the Child Development Block Grant and the Social Service Block Grant and TANF, that there are organizations, and for all of you who are here, there are parent organizations, one being Parent Voices. They're doing a campaign to inquire that if you currently or even in the past are taking advantage of childcare using any one of these dollars, that you can lift up your story as a part of a storytelling I can share more information
That
with
would be
you,
great.
Julie. Yeah, they're doing a story bank, and they need to remember that childcare is an economic driver, and when we don't have childcare, we can't go to work,
Yep.
which then has subsequent impact on our household, ability to pay rent, mortgage, and, all the things we know. So Parent Voices, if you don't know, check them out. But I'll share with you, Julie, their Kara Scan code and where you can share your story.
That
So
would
we
be
can create a
great.
collective.
We'll send it out to our list of all of our contracted partners to bring in Parent Voice. Thank you.
Vice Chair Guerra.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I wanted to, just thank Commissioner Wesley for bringing that point up. I punched up because I wanted to say if we could reach out to our 4 major chambers of commerce to ensure that they speak on this. I know in the past we've met with them for our city-county child care task force, and 2,000 kids without child care means unemployment. That's what it means, and the trickle effect that happens for everyone. And the last thing, Mr. Chair, I want to also extend myself for any efforts on the Medi-Cal dental support, and if I can do any advocacy on that, I'd be glad to do that as well. I know that I think the first time I was able to see a dentist was in the first grade or second grade, and it was a terrible visit because of that. So any early visits to the dentist are essential. You can't have kids study if they're in pain. So.
That's right. Very good. Thank you. Any other questions or comments relative to the Executive Director's report? All right. Seeing none. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone signed up to speak on this matter?
Yes, sir. I gave it to you.
Oh, right. Crystal, come on down.
Hey. Okay. Acting brand new in here, y'all. Good morning, afternoon. I'm here representing the collective. I'm here to speak about Sacramento Children's Home, our fearless leader, program manager, Michelle Garibay. On Saturday, we had a retreat filled from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., full house. We met at the Sacramento Children's Home on Sutterville Road. We had food and fun and childcare. Our sessions begin this week. Tuesdays will be our English cohort, and Thursdays our Spanish cohort. I want to acknowledge our facilitators, Yannette, Cassidy, Maria Elena, Luz, Evelyn, Morgan, and Gabby. I also encourage each and every one of you to check out our social media on Instagram at Sacramento PLTI, as well as our link tree, SAC PLTI. Then I want to ask those that were present, any alumni, any attendees that were present on Saturday to stand up right now, because I know you're here. Make some noise. Come on. And I said alumni too, Yasmin, you're alumni too. Okay, yes, so we are growing. We had 25 English participants out of 32 signed up. 19 out of 23 Spanish participants showed up, and they all said they're coming back, right, Julie? Okay. So we thank you for the opportunity to serve, connect, engage parent leaders and community. We have power sessions coming up, so each of you will get connected. I know Dr. Lawanda was present at our last one, very helpful and instrumental in the work that we're doing. So again, thank you on behalf of Sacramento Children's Home and all of the parent leaders here in Sacramento County. We look forward to seeing you soon. Peace.
Thanks, Crystal.
Since I have time and all, can you all please smile for me? I need to post on social media, okay? PLTI, you know. Okay, thank you. My job here.
Thanks for waking us up, Crystal.
Yes.
All right, very good. I don't have any other speaker slips on off-agenda matters, so we will go on to the next item, please.
Item number 5, Advisory Committee update.
Okay.
We did not meet. We
Okay.
will be meeting in February.
All right. Brevity is a virtue. All right. Next item, please. Sorry. Anyone sign up to speak on the matter?
No, sir.
Okay, next item, please.
Item number 6, Evaluation Committee update.
Also no meeting.
Okay, anyone signed up to speak on this matter?
No, sir, we do not.
Okay, next item, please.
Item number 7, Financial Planning Committee update.
Also no meeting.
Okay, anyone signed up to speak on the matter?
No, sir.
Okay, next item.
Item number 8, System Optimization and Sustainability Committee update, December 17, 2025.
We did meet.
All right, we've got a winner.
So briefly, it was a long meeting, but briefly, we met on December 17th. We reviewed and approved the 2026 policy priorities that we'll be voting on today. We discussed the First 5 Association policy and advocacy proposals shared at their November policy summit, including an outreach campaign for the 2026 governor's race, Choose Children. And we got our first peek at the Equity and Action Committee grant recommendations, and we're looking forward to working with our new grantees when we hear about them today. Our next meeting is on February 18th, and that concludes the SOS committee report.
Thank you, Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia. Any questions, comments? Don't see any. Madam Clerk, anyone sign up to speak on the matter?
No, sir.
All right, very good. Thanks again. Next item, please.
Item number 9, Approval of Funding Recommendations for Equity in Action Initiative.
Okay, before we get our staff report, I am in possession of several speaker slips, so I suspect there's growing interest. So please, if you would, if you expect to address the commission, if you can please complete that speaker slip and get it to our clerk, that would be helpful. All right, so
Perfect.
Julie, take it away.
Thank you. Okay, super exciting. Before I hand it over, though, I just wanted to take a minute to give a shout out to our in-house lead for Equity in Action. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, if you ask my dad, but like the smartest thing I ever did was hire Dr. Lindsay Dunkel. Honestly, she's brilliant. Yes, and she's just been the mastermind and the choreographer behind the launch of the Equity in Action Initiative. She was there 2 years ago when you all said, we want this racial equity priority area. And she took your vision about what that could look like and created what you're about to see today. So it's just been amazing to work alongside her and her brilliant mind. So thank you. Yes. And with that, it's all
I just
yours.
wanted to jump in and second
Yes.
that, because
Thank
this is
you.
Lindsay, this is a very difficult, like conceptually and innovatively difficult thing to do. And as the SOS committee folks, I just want to really thank you for all of the thought and the intentionality that you've put into this, and to see it come to fruition is pretty amazing. Thank you so much.
I would add to that in terms of the difficulty factor with the backdrop of the current administration's disposition on diversity, equity, and inclusion. So, all right.
Thank you all. It is my great pleasure to do this work, and I appreciate getting up and doing this every day. So, good afternoon, commissioners, Chair Cerna, and all of you present in the room. Woo, woo. Today, we bring you the culmination of hundreds and hundreds of hours of work. The funding recommendations for the participatory grant-making project that the Commission envisioned as a way to really change the way that we do business, to respond more directly to community-identified needs and engage with new funded partners, many of whom you see in the room today, all by sharing power with the community. So I want to note that this work was guided by our consultants at Touchstone Leadership Group, led by Stephanie McElmore-Bray, who is proudly watching on Metro Cable right now, so shout out to Stephanie. I'm just going to set the background and then hand this over to the committee, who did all of the visioning, the planning, the implementing, the scoring, and not least, the collaborative decision-making that got us to this point today. They designed and followed a rigorous process, yet one that was really uniquely accessible, and it resulted in a wealth of connections with new connections for First5. The needs and the visionary problem solving of the Sacramento community came into clear view through this process with, as you remember, over $62 million in requests. The information that we garnered from the letters of interest will be some of the data that we use in creating the implementation plan recommendations for the next round of general First5 Sacramento funding. That's like the silver lining of all of those applications that we could not award funds to. So I would say, just like it is for you, commissioners, the hardest work of the Equity in Action Committee was deciding what not to score among very strong mission-aligned applications. I know that you know that work as well, because there just wasn't enough money to go around. And as you saw in your commission letter, we did receive 2 letters of protest from applicants who were not recommended for funding, and the committee followed their process. They had a very clearly laid out process for how that would work. They met to discuss and review and found that their process had conformed to published guidelines, and we sent back response letters to them to let them know that we had gone through that process and to give them some feedback that they had requested about their applications. So, just to rewind the clock a little bit and remind you where we started, the Equity in Action Committee rolled out in 2 segments. There was a phase 1 that was about getting the right people in the room. So it was the broad community engagement that we started with, these 2 community forums that we held to figure out a process for identifying who was going to sit on what we were calling the deliberative panel, and then recruiting that panel through a nominations process. And then phase 2 began when we first brought together the 15 members of the panel, which we named the Equity in Action Committee. So, using those parameters that were set by the community at the assemblies, we recruited those members from the priority zip codes that were selected for the project. And as a reminder, here are the Equity in Action priority zip codes. They were chosen based on data on the well-being of children and barriers to services in the various zip codes in Sacramento County. There are 27 zip codes, and we grouped them into 14 neighborhoods. And throughout the funding process, the committee came back to this map again and again and again, making sure that there were ideas in consideration that would be based in all of the neighborhoods. As a reminder as well, although the programs will be based in these neighborhoods, any resident of Sacramento County could come and participate in the programs. Here you see the list of the 15 community members, and I'm just going to say some of them are here today in the audience. If you are a member of the Equity in Action Committee, could you please stand and be acknowledged? Thank you all. So these 15 people have shown up again and again, really, really aware of honoring the trust that the community placed in them to represent them. And they showed up authentically time and time again with their lived experience and their professional experience, and they gave unendingly. I'm getting a little choked up thinking about it. They, in total, met 13 times since June 28th, most recently on December 29th, when a lot of people had their feet up at home. They were still rolling up their sleeves. They put in a combined 390 hours in meetings. And then on top of that, And on top of that, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours reading and scoring, letters of interest and applications. We got way more than we thought we were going to, and so we hadn't planned well for it. And these people scrambled, and in total, they entered 8,249 individual scores. Yeah, they have been hard at work. These 15 people are my heroes, and I am delighted to introduce two of them to represent the whole 15-member team, and that is LaShanya Brizel and Alberto Mercado, who are going to take it from here.
Thank you. Well, I'll start. Good afternoon, commissioners and Chair Cerner. I am LaShanya Brizel, one of the Equity and Action Committee members.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alberto Mercado, and I'm also one of the members of this Equity and Action Commission. Before we begin, we also want to give kind of a little bit of a thank you note. We would like to sincerely give you a thanks to Sacramento County, First5 Commission, and the First5 staff for the opportunity to participate and share our own lived experiences and personal expertise throughout the First5 projects via the Equity and Action Committee.
This inclusive and innovating approach to funding and application processes is impactful, empowering, ensuring that community voices help shape decisions that affect our families and neighborhoods. It is crucial that we continue to foster and strengthen community involvement, and meaningful engagement leads to more equitable, informed, and effective outcomes for all.
So thank you very much for giving us this opportunity.
Thank you.
And we certainly hope to hear from you guys when you guys need us, because one of the things that we've learned while we're two right now here, there's a community behind us. And you can use our expertise. We know we have the expertise. We know that we have the willingness to be here and help you shape a better Sacramento County for all of us.
Absolutely agreed.
Very good. Thank you.
Yes. So I just want to give a couple of a representation of the different neighborhoods that were represented in our Equity and Action Committee. A few of us were from Oak Park, Rancho Cordova, Natomas, Valley High, Foothill Farms, North Harlands, and El Paso Heights. I am a representative of Oak Park. I grew up in Oak Park, and I feel like this has been the best experience I ever had.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Equity and Action Committee grant making timeline. It looks short, and it was. But again, we all had like minds. We were all on the same page, and then I will go. Sometime you'll hear me revert back to the First5 committee, how they helped us through this process. So as you can see, in June and July of 2025 is when the panel was selected and onboarded. And then we had November of 2025. That's when the letter of intent process and innovation to apply for the funding was released. December of 2025, application funding for the application funding closed and panel deliberations begin. And then January 2026, grant awardees presented to the First5 Commission for approval. So again, very short timeline, but we're here today. So we got
just a little bit of what we were doing in the process of our Equity and Action Committee onboarding. We had a curriculum. We were not just thrown in there just because we wanted to do something fun. It was fun, but it was a lot of work. We actually did a lot of team building exercises and activities that allow us to become one unit. We were also doing a lot of conflict resolution because we knew that conflict was going to come up with so much applications and stuff. And, conflict always comes up. The other thing we also did, conflict of interest training, because we know that since a lot of us work in this community, and our community is such a big community, but it's also very small when you're working in these nonprofit areas and in the communities. We also did determining a decision-making framework. We don't want it to be just something that came up. We wanted to make sure that we put some decision-making so that we can actually build a foundation for something in the future.
And I just want to add, I know I'm going to go back to where, no worries. I want to go back to where is the team building, and in that process, it was a lot of trust. We all trust, even though we've come, some of us knew each other, some of us didn't, but when we came together, we all trust each other, our opinions. We learned not to put our biases in the decision making. So it was an eye opener for all of us. And I cannot thank the First 5 Commission team that worked with us. So. And then funding recommendation process. Now, amount to be funded was $4.2 million. I believe we only had $4.1 million. So as you can see, the need was huge. For Tier 1, they were broken up in 3 tiers. For Tier 1, it was $200K. Tier 2, it was $1.5 million. And then in Tier 3, it was $2.5 million. The Tier 1 for the timeline is the amount they can apply for was $5,000 to $999 over 1 year. Tier 2, $150K to $300K over 2.5 years. And then Tier 3 was $300,001 to $500K over 2.5 years.
Some of the funding recommendation processes, we wanted to make sure that we did some priority funding areas. We understood that we wanted to make sure that the programs that were serving our families, individual, and immediate needs. We also understood that we wanted programs that were promoting the health and well-being of children, parents, and communities in groups. Also, we wanted to make sure that our programs that we're going to be funding were programs that support leadership and organizing. And another one that was key for us, we wanted to see programs that were supporting changing systems.
Yes, absolutely. And then during the scoring and the selection process, we did have a process. So there was a recusal process, the designing of LOIs and application, and recruits members for those that had to excuse themselves during, if they knew an organization or if their organization was going to apply. We were excused, we had to excuse ourselves, but we supported with the design and the capacity builder for the framework.
Can I interrupt real quick?
Yes.
Can you go back to the previous slide? That one. So, relative to the short time frame that you pointed out, and given the fact that day to day, almost hour to hour, some new challenge can present itself out of the ether from the Trump administration that complicates how we work in this space. So in terms of the priority funding areas, how did you manage to stay as nimble as possible so they can be responsive in real time? I mean, we had a, part of the executive director's report just minutes ago, emphasizing the fact that Medi-Cal challenges have presented themselves. Dentists are not going to be reimbursed. Daycare is threatening thousands of families now in the lack of daycare in Sacramento County. So some of those services, I would assume, fall within the wheelhouse of what you set out to address. So can you speak to kind of how you wanted to be as responsive as possible to kind of this fluid atmosphere of challenge?
We did lots of research.
Yeah.
We did lots of research, and we were just optimistic and knew that we will be able to support these individuals, and that we didn't let that detour. If they had questions, I think we held office hours, so it's not like they weren't accessible to us and have a question or concerns that we will most likely address with a positive answer, and I hope I answered that question.
So the research was basically picking up the New York Times, basically. Okay.
I can jump in and just
Sure.
follow up on that, Chair Cerna.
Okay.
They really didn't put guidelines around the types of activities or services that somebody could propose within any of these. So it was very, very open. And I think when you see coming up in some slides, like what was actually funded, it is such a broad range of things. So in the past, and some what we do, we're much more prescribed about, we want to fund an evidence-based home visiting model or something like that. And this time we were just like, this committee wanted to say, you are all the experts in your communities. Tell us what you think would work. So you're going to see the broadest range of things that fell within these four sort of big bucket areas.
And I would add, if I may, that part of the nimbleness, is that a word? Yes, was the fact that they designed a Google form to be that letter of interest. Yes. And so people didn't have to be shovel ready, right? They didn't have to have some really fleshed out idea, but they could say, right now, this is what I need. Here are my answers to these few questions. Here's my idea. Invite me to complete an application if you're interested. So I think that was part of it. It was because they could just go.
Yeah. All right. Very good. Thank you.
So going back to the scoring and the selection processes, we selected the top scorers of the letters of interest and applications. The committee and the First 5 staff ensure that eligibility and equity guardrails were in place. We also had our committee members recuse themselves from scoring based on conflicts of interest. We knew that because some of us knew a lot of the different applications that were coming in, we didn't want to have anything to give anyone say that there was a conflict of interest in this process. Yes. And we were clear on that, all of us.
Very clear, yes. Okay. And then expanding the reach, we had 400 plus entities submitted a letter of interest, 70 to invite to submit an application, and 62 applied.
Documenting the need. Over $62 million in total of letter of interest requests. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
9.9 million invited in applications, and we only had 4.2 million available to award.
Yes.
So we definitely saw a need, and we know that the need is going to be there, but we wanted to be as much as possible, give the people that we need the money that we have right now at the moment with what we have. But it doesn't mean that just because you didn't get any funding, in the future there could be other opportunities in other ways, so it doesn't exclude them from the future funding that will come up, hopefully.
Okay, and the scoring and selection process, there's the eligibility guardrails, services available regardless of income or immigration status, grassroots groups, nonprofits, faith-based organization, and business of all sizes were allowed to apply. Excuse me. And then the equity guardrails were the neighborhood representation, projects across the 4 funding priority areas, of course, lived and professional experiences, and it reduces the barriers to equitable access.
And here, as you can see in the graph, these are the funding recommendations. In Tier 1, approximately 20, I don't have my glasses, sorry. 23 were awarded. Tier 2, around 6. Tier 3, around 6, of course. And then the zip codes are also there, but I don't have those zip codes. But I think we have it on the next slide.
And then the funding recommendations for Tier 1, there was $197,410,000. Tier 2, $1.47 million, and Tier 3, $2.5 million.
Organizations recommended for funding in Tier 1 were basically putting a group that we would call the basic needs. And for those ones, we kind of focused on a couple of different areas that we were thinking of what will be basic needs. And the following organizations are a few of them that were selected for Tier 1 funding. And we actually, we have a list, and we want to acknowledge, if you are receiving Tier 1 funding, can you please stand up so we can recognize you?
Please, if you see your name, we have more.
So just a few of them to name. We have Act on Kindness, the Benito Juarez Foundation, My Agnes Kitchen, Sigma Delta Omega Chapter, South Sacramento Interfaith Food Closet.
And for the second of tier one.
Tier 1. So,
Second of tier one, go ahead.
yes.
Go ahead.
So the tier 1, we broke it into community, events, training, and enrichment.
And then, you want
Want
to
to read it? You can read them.
go ahead.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and read those. I don't know how to pronounce the first one. Alaya Jackson, Arab Community Center for Integration Services, Artism, Furridge Soccer League, Gardenland Norgate Neighborhood Association, Natomas Black Parents United, Sunshine Family Outreach Center, the Girls Jazz and Blues Society, and With Purpose. For support groups, we want to recognize and recommend Reconciliation Church, SITTY, Staying True to Yourself, Superior Outreach Services. And then finally, we also have funding for childcare and homes. And for this one, we recommended Mother's Love Childcare, Katsutinia Irenia and Parker Praskovia Childcare, Olina Staisik, I don't know if I said it right. Yeah, Childcare, Rayito de Sol Daycare, Thompson Childcare, Valeria, they are coming. I don't know. Yeah, childcare. Sorry about that. And then tier 2.
Yes, for tier 2, we have, again, if you are tier 2, could you please stand up? I have Always Knocking, My Sister's House, Rancho Cordova Food Locker, The Root, Birth Babies Beyond, The Wonder Grove, and Volunteers of America, Northern California and Northern Nevada. And then we have tier 3. If you see your name, I'm going to call you out. Your tier 3 funding, your California North State University, Color the Block, NorCal Resist, South County Services, Universal Soul Cafe, and Women's Empowerment.
We also wanted to give you guys a little bit of reflections from our committee members. And one of the greatest things that, I'm speaking for myself, I've been in this community doing a lot of work, and this is the first time that I actually got to enjoy and produce something that actually has something that is very tangible, where we trusted each other. We had trust built in our process, and one of the great things that happened with us, that we had great communication and transparency from the First 5 staff, and we were so excited about that. Yeah. The other piece that we also want to make sure some of our members, they say that it was, we wanted to make sure that there was alignment with what the committee said, because we wanted to make sure that anything that comes out of ours is going to be trusted.
Yes,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Does that make sense?
And you know what, for myself, I've been probably doing community work, started off with First 5, and with Child Action back in I'm gonna age myself here, 1998, came in through the AmeriCorps program, but just working over the years in child care setting. I'm a preschool teacher by nature. I retired a while ago, but I see you. But just being part of this committee just really put my perspective in as how much I know, my lived experience, and how much I was able to just go and read other like minds in the community. Such a beautiful thing. So with that, we're going to get back on topic and read our committee reflections. But thank you to you all. Again, I'll keep saying thank you to you all. Can we read the first one? Okay. The Equity and Action Committee reflections, great communication and transparency from First 5. I cannot stress that enough. Very good education, guidance from the First 5 commissioners, the staff that helped us. I'll read the first 3. Okay. Learned about new services. I do not like the word programs because programs tend to go away. I say services because we expect and want them to stay around for a long time to come. So I'm going to say learned about new services in the community. And then the opportunity to support diversity and equity by looking at the data and the needs through the equity lens.
So we also wanted to make sure that it was a privilege to work with, to see how hard the community works, and to show that the relevance of what they do matters. And so that was really critical for us. And then it was also very interesting to be on the other side for some of us.
Yes, absolutely.
To be on the other side of reviewing applications and stuff like that, it was really, really eye-opening. And it shows that Sacramento County is actually leading the way. And we want to give you so much props for doing this amazing work with us. And with that, we want to thank you, and we hope that you can always lean on us as community members.
Yes.
Whenever you need the support, we're here for you guys. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, thank you for the presentation. And as I mentioned earlier, we have several people signed up to speak. But before we get to our speakers, I'll look to my colleagues to see if they have any initial questions or comments. You may have them now. You may have them after we hear from the public. I don't want to bring the room down. Last thing I want to do. But I'm going to ask the question of our staff, just because I've had, unfortunately, the experience over several years on the Board of Supervisors. Sometimes when we make allocations, when we have the rare opportunity to do so with discretionary funding, with various community partners to carry out the mission that we share, the county shares with them, whether it be public health or child welfare or other services, there are very important rules and guide rails as it relates to the use of funding to make sure that the funding is appropriately accounted for, that what a recipient says they're going to do with the funding is actually what happens. So can someone speak briefly to how we will understand that accounting moving forward?
Sure. I can at least start, and Kristen, if you want to jump in at any point. So this would be pretty much the same as it is for any of our other funded partners. We have reporting requirements. We have, all of the things in place. I would say what's most different about this equity in action funding is that we actually have capacity building dollars set aside within this initiative to help the agencies be successful, because many of these are first time county partners. Every one of them are first time First 5 partners, because that was a prerequisite to coming in. So for the Tier 2 and Tier 3, which are the larger dollar grants, they'll be working directly with our staff and have an assigned monitor and an assigned analyst to go to at any time, as well as formal capacity building that will happen through Touchstone Leadership Group. As for the Tier 1, which are the smaller mini grants, we are seeking a fiscal agent that our letter of interest, RFQ, has already gone out. Because for staff, a $5,000 grant costs the exact same amount of money to implement as a $50 million grant. So we knew that was just going to be, we're not able to do that level, because they also need to look at things like every receipt has to be turned in for those little mini grants, and they need special level of support in order to do that. So we're seeking a fiscal agent, and that's what we'll bring back to you in February for your consideration. But we've thought about it from the front end to the back end. How can we most support the new grantees so that they are successful?
Good. I will just, say that those guide rails and the supervision and the accounting, all of that is really to mostly protect the recipients.
Yes.
Because their profession is not accounting. Their profession is doing the great work that they do, the tangible work that touches our community. And I've seen too many examples over the years where some have just gotten over their head in terms of, managing the receipt of those dollars. And then in some cases, you find yourself with a legal challenge in terms of the use of public dollars. So Again, that's a safety net for really the benefit of those that are receiving the dollars. It's not to be punitive. It's not to be critical. It's just that we all want to make sure that missions are completed as designed, and that's an important part of how we go about partnering. So, all right. Any other questions or comments before we hear from speakers? All right. Seeing none, again, thank you.
All right.
And with that, I will call our first speaker. Greg, you're up. You're good.
How's everybody doing? All right. Tell me which way to go and I'll do it. Right here?
You're close. Yeah, keep going. You got it.
All right. All right. First, I'd like to thank everybody. It's too many names for me to call, so I'm just saying everybody, thank you. Also, I'd like to thank my business partner here, Mr. Henry Hawthorne, to name his nonprofit that we can work it out. I also want to thank him. My wife is not here. She's at work. I want to send a big old shout out to her for allowing me to do all the things that I do, because I have to get permission to do what I do for my wife. I want to give her the props because she is that person. But most of all, I just want to thank y'all for giving my agency to entrusting me to do the work that I've been doing for many years. This is very important to us, bringing more fathers, getting more fathers involved with what's going on with their children, co-parenting, parenting period, and to get them to understand as them as fathers has a definition and has a defining meaning. That is, you as father, you must show up and be accountable and be responsible. There's always something going on. There's always blockages, but through always knocking and we can work it out, I guarantee you it will be a great improvement. I know a lot of hours went into getting this done, so I want to thank everybody for those extra hours during the holidays that y'all put in work. Everybody, whatever you did to make this happen is just so important. I'm going to thank the commission. But the one thing that I want to thank is I got to give my spiritual advisor thank you. I am a spiritual person. I want to give thanks to my God Almighty. And just for me, period, I am a father, I am a grandfather, I'm a great-grandfather, and that is one of the most beautiful things in the whole wide world. So giving us the opportunity to work with these fathers and these babies, hey, let's do it. I don't have to sit here and talk all day, but I can if you want me to. I just want to say thank you to everybody and always knocking and we can work it out, and let's go. So Crystal was up and said, let's do it. So let's go.
All right.
We ready. Thanks again.
Thank you, Greg.
For your support, and I'm all for it. Y'all want me to do the book? Thank you again. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Greg.
Where do I go?
It's good to see you.
Hey, man, it's good to be seen.
Yeah. All right. Kristen, did you chime in? Okay. All right. Very good. All right. Next up, Kristen Wynn.
Good afternoon, Commissioners and Chair Fieldsarna, and a big thank you to the Equity in Action 15-member committee for taking on this task and reading our application. My name is Christine Wynn. I'm the new CEO of My Sister's House. I'm so honored and humbled to work alongside all of you, whether you're a grantee, a committee members who read our application, or commissioners, stakeholders who are really helping fund these critical services in Sacramento County. I'm here to make it work for our women and children. I took a call last night at 2 o'clock in the morning from a mother who was in her car fleeing her abuser with a 4-month-old and a 4-year-old. And it's heartbreaking to hear the choices that women have to make in order to stay safe. And with this funding, we're going to do some really critical work in making sure that women and children do not have to make the decision of whether to be safe, because safety should be our basic human need here in Sacramento and everywhere else. So thank you so much for this opportunity. I look to report back at the conclusion of this grant that we've made some huge impact. Happy New Year, everyone.
Thank you. All right, Tonya Mack. And after Tanya is Paul Glassman.
Oh, goodness, I'm so glad that I didn't have to speak after the rah-rah. I'm like, oh, crap, don't call me for this high-energy person. I'm going to be a nervous wreck. I wrote it down so that I could say what I wanted to say and stay within my 2 minutes. So good morning, afternoon, the time of day, I don't know. First 5 board members, community leaders, and friends. My name is Tanya Mack. I'm the founder and CEO of Universal Cafe. We are a social enterprise rooted in Del Paso Heights. I wanted to begin by saying thank you, not just for the recommendation for our Community Cooks program, but also really for believing in it, for seeing the power in a model that says we don't just feed people, we employ them, we trust them, we invest in them. I also want to extend a special thank you to the First 5 Sacramento team for the way you facilitated this grant process. Your approach was transparent, community-centered, and deeply inclusive. From the listening sessions to the thoughtful application design, it's clear that equity wasn't just a buzzword, it was your foundation. You really met the charge handed to you. You modeled what it means to build with us, not just for us. Community Cooks was born out of a lived experience, mine and that of the families that we serve. We know what it feels like to be hungry and unseen. We know what it means to want to work but not have a way in. And we know that the systems designed to support us often overlook the caregivers, the grandparents, the just as impacted, and the young parents raising our future. This potential award from First 5 Sacramento is more than funding. It's a shift in what's possible. With your support, we will train caregivers to become certified food entrepreneurs. We will recover thousands of pounds of surplus food and turn it into culturally relevant meals. And we will do it all from within the neighborhoods most often excluded. We believe caregiving is work, and that food is a human right, and that dignity belongs in every kitchen and every corner of our city. And today, because of you, we can scale that belief into something real and something lasting. On behalf of every family who will eat, learn, and rise through this program, thank you for standing with us. Thank you for seeing the soul of this work. And thank you for allowing Universal to be part of the solution. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Paul Glassman. Following Mr. Glassman will be Nancy Pryor.
Great, thank you. So, Paul Glassman, I'm the Associate Dean for Research and Community Engagement at California North State School of Dentistry. For those of you who don't know, it's a relatively new dental school in Sacramento. I retired in 2019 from a dental school long established in San Francisco, and this is my retirement hobby, although it's about 80 hours a week of retirement hobbies. But it actually allows me to follow my passion, which is to be able to think very differently about the dental care system in our country. I was actually very pleased to hear the conversation, not because of the problems with the Medi-Cal dental program, but because of the focus here and the people who are being organized to try and do something about it. The situation with people having availability to get dental care was already terrible, and this could make terrible turn to horrible. And so I think it's something that's already been a problem. It's going to get worse. But, fortunately, I'm excited about the fact that over the last number of years, we've been able to build systems that take advantage of some very new things, both in the way dental care is delivered, which I don't have time to detail now, but also in information technology. And so we're looking forward to actually being able to have I think it's the only dental grant among this group, to be able to do something about dental care access and dental health in Sacramento through this funding. We actually expect, through working with our partners, which includes the SETA Health Start centers and the Medi-Cal Dental Advisory Committee and the Department of Health in Sacramento, to be able to produce innovative systems that actually are going to be able to keep the majority, maybe as many as 90% of children 0 to 5 healthy in a community site without needing to make a trip to a dental office. Now, if you think about that, the way dental care works right now, most people who need dental care, the only option they can think about is going to a dental office. We actually have the way now to be able to keep people healthy in community locations, which involves a lot of participation of the community organizations themselves and their workers, We have the ability, we've been building something with a bunch of partners in Sacramento to provide community health worker certificates for all those staff members, which makes them a billable entity within the dental care system. So lots more pieces to it, but the point is we're really excited about to be able to bring this kind of new way of thinking about dental care to Sacramento, so thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Glassman. All right, Nancy Pryor. Aha. And following Ms. Pryor is Melda Martinez.
All right. Greetings, Commission. I'd hoped to bring my 14-month-old Quinn here for her first public comment as well.
We can hear.
But it is her nap time. So she's melting down in the lobby. I'm a District 1 resident under Phil Cerna and part of one of the impacted zip codes, and I'm on the board of the Root, which over the last 18 months has become a nonprofit organization. Previously was a for-profit business, and made the shift in order to serve more parts of our community. And it happened to align with the restructuring of First5 and the community impact. And on behalf of our executive director, Kelly Edison, who's completing a grad school program and wasn't able to be here with us today, and her husband, Chris, who's in the lobby with my little one, we wanted to say thank you for this consideration for this award. It does truly mean a huge level of financial stability and expansion in the work of our organization. We're a very grassroots organization. When I found out I was pregnant about 2 years ago, I asked a number of my neighbors what type of resources they would look for as a first-time parent, and the Roots name came up over and over again. It's where I did a lot of my prenatal education and really built my village of other new parents around me, and that's just critical. I think when you ask people what our social support safety net is in the U.S., most people say it's other moms, and you really need that in order to make life work. So we just want to pass along our deep gratitude for being considered and for the work of the Equity and Action Committee for structuring this process, and for the Commission for ceding the power to these types of grassroots organizations to do work. We plan to do a lot of community education, using free libraries and public parks to do prenatal yoga, baby and me yoga, breastfeeding education, must-have tools for labor, other signature classes that previously were only available for paid members, and now to be able to have that to members of the public is going to be huge. So thank you so much. Please make the reporting requirements rigorous, but completable.
Not burdensome.
And we are really excited to expand our work with the help of this organization. So thank you very much.
Very good. Thank you. All right, Melda Martinez, and following Ms. Martinez will be, let's see, it's hard to read this. Is it Mator and Sharon Thurman? Gillet, okay, sorry. Good afternoon.
All right, good afternoon, commissioners and First5 staff. My name is Imelda Martinez. I actually served on the Equity and Action Committee. I'm also a dental student, so I know and I follow everything that's going on in our community. I'm also a founder of the CPA, Community Parent Advocates. I just started. It's a parent-led nonprofit serving our families here in Sacramento, continuing the work that I do after PLTI. I want to begin by thanking the Commission and the staff for investing in the process that centers our community voices and our lived experiences and equity around our communities. Participating in this committee has been one of the most meaningful and full closed-looped civic experiences that I have been engaged in, both as a parent and as a community leader. Even though CPA was not selected to move forward in the first round of LOI process, I still deeply value the opportunity to engage in the process and to learn alongside other members and advocates and the organizations you see here today. Equity in Action reflects the spirit of Rob Reiner's vision for First5, that families, especially those most impacted by systems, should have a real seat at the table in shaping how resources are allocated for our children and our caregivers. This process is not just about funding, it's about building the trust, building the transparency and accountability between our systems and also our constituents that are served. what I see in the projects being recommended today is a strong focus on parent leadership, early childhood workforce development, culturally responsive services, and addressing all these gaps in the under-reserved zip codes we are here today serving. These are exactly the kinds of investments and the stabilization that families and strengthen children's outcomes, and it reduces long-term system involvements. As someone who works daily with families navigating court, childcare, housing, and benefits, I know how interconnected these issues are. When parents are supported, trained, and included in decision-making, the impact reaches far beyond any single program you see here today, or person, or entity. I look forward to continuing to serve on the Equity and Action Committee to learn from the funded partners here behind me and to bring what we are seeing on the ground back to these policy conversations with you. Thank you for honoring community voices, for continuing Rob Reiner's legacy and parent-centered leadership, and for your commitment to equity for Sacramento County's children and families. Thank you so much.
Very good. Thank you. Jalay and Sharon Thurman.
Hi, I'm Sharon Thurman. This is Jalay. We bring you greetings from the Natomas Black Parent United Group. And we are happy to be here because, as a grassroots group, this is the first source of funding that we've received.
All
And
right.
we're taxpayers. Thank you very much. 6 years ago, when a parent walked up to me and said, Ms. Thurman, why are so many of our children test results for reading and math so extremely low consistently? I said, I don't know, but we can find out. So we did our research. We met with some of the staff. We discerned that there's some basic issues: class size, multiculturalism, so many things that our schools are trying to do but have not been successful. One of them is teaching reading in a way that children can understand. And so as a group, we came together. This was right around COVID, so imagine what that was like, meeting on Zoom, et cetera. And we were able to, in a short period of time, build community, meet with the superintendents, meet with the trustees, and let them know that, you guys got to do better. We were able to put together several outreaches. And now that we have a source of funding, some of the things we've been doing for free can be even more enhanced. So to say thank you doesn't seem to quite cover it, but I need you to know that as a grassroots group, we are encouraged, right? Empowered. And thank you for giving us our tax dollars back in a way that we can use them.
Good afternoon, commissioners. My name is Jalay Tor, and I am a parent leader. I'm here also representing the Natomas Black Parents United. Thank you for the First5 Sacramento Commission and the Equity and Action Committee for recommending our program for Tier 1 funding. As Ms. Thurman stated, in Natomas, many of our Black children begin school already behind in early literacy and learning. The NBPU Early Start Family Academy will support children ages 0 through 5 and their families with culturally affirming literacy, math, and parent engagement activities that build strong foundations before kindergarten. This funding will allow us to reach families early, strengthen parent involvement, teach parents how to become advocates, and also create joyful learning experiences for our children. We're grateful for your trust in our community and for investing in solutions that reflect the voices and experiences of the local families. We also have an exciting calendar of events planned for 2026 from June through December, and we invite you, to the commissioners and everyone, to come out and see the impact of this funding firsthand in our community. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Is it Valine Bird? And following Ms. Bird will be Carrie Johnson.
Hello, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to everyone here. Sorry. Just make me more nervous, okay? Okay. And to the members of the Equity in Action Committee, I'm going to read this because I have nerves and they are all over the place and my shoulders go up and I sweat.
You're good.
I'm the founder and program director of Artism, and I thank you so much for your time, your care, and your lived experience you brought to the process, and for the opportunity to share our work with you and the rest of your families. Artism was created to support children on the autism spectrum and their families through inclusive, accessible, and arts programming. As a special needs parent, an educator, and an artist, I know firsthand how isolating it can be for families to find spaces where their children are not accommodated and not truly welcomed. Artism creates those spaces. I'm not going to cry, okay? Artism creates those spaces. We use creativity, play, and connection to help children build confidence and help families feel seen and supported. Our signature program, the annual Artism Interactive Art Exhibit, is now in its 5th year, bringing hundreds of families together in South Sacramento, and I'm not even going to say South Sacramento, all of Sacramento. And it's free, sensory friendly, and the community powered it by celebrating neurodiversity. We also provide community art workshops and professional development for teachers and school staff so that inclusion extends far beyond one event. It's into our everyday life. Being recommended for Equity in Action funding means so much to us. Not only is it my first grant I ever wrote, but it also it represents the voices and the experiences of the families we serve. Your support helps us to continue this work in our communities that is far too often without access to inclusive arts, special education resources, and culturally responsive supports. Thank you for believing in Artism, for investing in equity, and for helping us build a Sacramento where every child, regardless of ability, has the opportunity to thrive.
All right.
Thank you.
I don't know if you have a date or details about the exhibit, but certainly you'd like to help promote that if you're interested. So.
Thank you to Scott and Councilman.
All right. All right. Good job, by the way.
Hello, I'm Carrie Johnson. I'm the Executive Director for the Rancho Cordova Food Locker, very, very soon to be the Community Food Hub. And I just want to say thank you to you and your committee for the work that you did. What an undertaking, tremendous work in a short period of time. I had a whole speech ready, and I do this a lot, but listening to everybody and understanding as I've gone through the journey of this project, what First5 does, it has such a human impact on me personally and why I'm doing this work. At the Community Food Hub, we're changing everything about the way people have access to food. Currently, the way we do it across the country is horrific. We ask people to stand in long lines with limited hours, and we hand them food that may or may not be culturally appropriate, or even food for families that their kids like. And I've had people tell me they should just be grateful for that food. And I said, well, have you ever tried to feed a 2-year-old? After you've worked 2 jobs and you're exhausted and you've got a 7-year-old that needs to have tutoring, and you can't figure out what to eat with this random set of food that someone said you should be grateful for. Well, we're changing that. We are opening the very first free, no-cost, absolutely beautiful grocery store in Rancho Cordova. And what that means is families and moms and grandparents and caregivers can come in with dignity and agency and walk through a grocery store setting, have a normalized experience just like all of us, and choose food that makes sense for their families. And this funding means I can do health education, I can do cooking classes. We're multi-generations away where grandma's not teaching them how to fix food. And we can do that in a culturally appropriate manner. In Rancho Cordova, we have 14 languages that come through our door. We have staff that speak 7 different languages. The food needs to match the needs of the community. We'll be able to do it here. So thank you for this. It means the world. And as a parent of 3 sons and a grandparent of 8, 7 of which are 5 and under, and as a person who grew up with food stamps, this matters to me personally, and I will be championing it with your support, so thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. right, I have one remaining speaker slip in my hand. So if you wish to address the commission, please get your speaker slips in. Morgan Brown?
That wasn't hard at all. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I want to say thank you. I want to, I actually had kind of reached out to a lot of family members, immediate family members, to be here to come help support me. But the crazy part is actually, as I look around, there's so much of my family here. And I think about all the steps that, and it's the hormones too. So, all the steps that I've taken, I started Color the Block 2.5 years ago, and my biggest mission was really, it was about our babies. Let these kids get dirty, let these kids be outside. We complain so much about, the development of our children, but they don't have access. They don't have access because parents got to work, and if they have to work, then how do their kids get to these activities? And if they're working and they don't have access to these activities, then they're now in front of these screens. So, it truly became a mission for me where I have an 18-year-old, I have a 4-year-old, I have a 2-year-old, and I have a almost-year-old. And, I say it's not about my kids. I'm not really worried about my kids because I know that I'll be available. I know I'll do what I have to do. But I'm worried about the kids that my kids will be around. So, yeah, I feel like we lost that village mentality. I really, really, really feel like if we pour into the kids around our kids, care about the development and the growth of those kids, then that's when you see community thrive. That selfish mentality that we take, that theory that if I'm doing good, then, if you're doing good, then I'm not doing good. Like, we have to rewrite that script. Like, literally, I see so many of the different community partners I work with actually right here. Color the Block would not be where it's at without the support not only of United and Guided, but First5. I am a parent leader. I am a 2024 cohort graduate and now a PLTI facilitator. And that training, it gave me the confidence to just literally quit my job and go full-time with a nonprofit with a couple of $100 in the bank. And, our first budget year was $2,000. And I am so excited to say that by the end of this year, our budget year, well, I don't want to say it right now, but I'm super excited to say, and I mean, one, because of, a lot of you that are sitting up there that have approved a recent county contract for us to do wellness in South Sacramento. So Ed Guerrero, you'll be seeing me all the time. But definitely First5. I know a lot of the projects that we started, you guys were my experimental portions of it. And without you all believing in what we were trying to do to feed our community, to be a part of sustainability, we wouldn't be here today. So to all of my PLTI family, to my community partners, to everybody here. Like I said, thank you. This is what a village looks like.
Thank you. All right, with purpose. And if you can give us your names too, just for the record, that would be great.
Good afternoon. My name is Araceli.
I'm Jasmine.
And we're the creators of With Purpose. We are barbers volunteering our services for the community. We've done it for years, and we've worked closely with our community. We know haircut prices have gone up, and we believe that hair care is essential, and it provides dignity and, confidence for everybody, not just the youth. We would like to thank the First5 for your generous funding and your partnership. Your investment strengthens our capacity to provide consistent community-centered hair care services and supporting youth and families by promoting confidence, dignity, and overall well-being. We appreciate your commitment to equitable support and look forward to sharing the outcomes your funding makes possible.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next speaker is Anterica Simmons.
I'm like, he's not going to say my name right. So let me go ahead and just stand up. I'm so used to it. Hi, I'm Anterica Simmons. I am the owner of A Mother's Love Daycare. So I definitely appreciate you guys for even believing in my vision. When I was first told about the grant, I laughed because I said, I'm a little daycare. I like dealing with infants, and nobody's going to believe in it. I'm a mother of 6. I remember when I had my first son, don't judge me, when I had my first child at 20, he'll be 21 in March, I was in Monterey and they came, First5, they had First5 Sacramento, First5 come throughout the hospital and they would like give us pamphlets and talk to us. So I like to say that I'm a product of First5, unofficially. I also have been in the unfortunate situation of trying to figure out how do you balance childcare, work life, food, and just your mental space. I used to work for the state of California, and I wind up leaving in 2019 because I felt like if I'm not mentally good, then I know my children are not going to be mentally good. So I opened up a daycare, and I wanted to specialize in infants because I believe, as my father would always say, infants are able to absorb way more than what we give them credit for. And if we can get their emotional mentality and energy together, then we can raise well-rounded adults. So that was my vision where A Mother's Love came from, because I always felt like anytime I went to child care providers, I wanted to know, do you love them more than I love my child? And if you love them more than you love my child, then I know that my child is in a good space. So I want to say thank you for believing in my vision and even taking a chance on me. I'm so grateful. That was my very first grant ever in life. So I just appreciate you guys seeing me, and thank you for the vision of being able to add the food closet with the daycare, because again, being there, not being able to, feed your family or know how you're going to do it. I've had daycare providers say, hey, let me go ahead and give you something out of my fridge. So that was one of my biggest things of maybe I can do it in the privacy of my home, and they just walk out and nobody has to know, and they don't have that shame of I can't feed my family or somebody had to help me. So I'm grateful. Thank you. I'm going to shut up, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Okay, Ramona Landeros. Last call for speaker slips.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much. Ramona Landeros with the Benito Juarez Foundation, Maria Rangel, y Carolina Flores. We just want to thank you very much for having, for this grant, but more importantly, for the families that are living in fear right now, the immigrant families, the mothers who do not want to leave their homes. This is going to enable us to be able to have activities, bring them out, and lose that fear, or at least create safe spaces. I don't know if this is on. Create safe spaces for the families, for the children. So again, we've been in existence for quite a few years, but times have been really rough for our communities, as you all know. We hear it in the news all the time. So to have this grant is really going to be really going to create some safe spaces, but more importantly, bring our families out. And hopefully, we'll do a Dia de los Niños and invite you all out for that. So thank you very much.
¿En español? Puedes hablar. Ok. Nomás dar las gracias.
Gracias por la ayuda que nos dieron, que nos van a dar.
Thank you for the help that we're being provided.
Para nuestra fundación,
For our
para
foundation.
ayudar a la comunidad, a nuestra gente que lo necesita mucho. Ahorita hay mucha necesidad en nuestra gente latina.
There's a lot of need in our community, so thank you again. Gracias.
Okay, our final speaker is Margot Swift.
Hello, my name is Margot. I'm with Alea Jackson, LLC.
I just want to thank you guys for being able to give me the grant for this year, although I'm not a nonprofit or anything like that. What I'll be doing for the community is bringing CPR certifications because we have too many households that do not know basic CPR. So that's going to help the mothers and their small infants, as well as offering Stop the Bleed, because I do live in the Oak Park neighborhood and it gets a little rough out there. And so I do want to make sure that people understand what to do should they have to help somebody that's fallen victim or accidental stabbing, whatever happens, that they know how to help a person until first responders or whatever are able to apply, get there. So I just want to say thank you, and hopefully I can do this again next year.
Very good. Thank you. All right. I would again like to thank and congratulate everyone that spoke this afternoon, and we all look forward to seeing the fruits of your labor as it relates to a pretty wide spectrum of service delivery. Again, it feels like it's one of those times that personally I can tell you it's going to be a day like this that I'm going to miss a year from now because I won't be here. And this is what it's all about, is just seeing the excitement in your testimony and sometimes your tears. It's, you know, someone can easily write it off as a feel-good moment, but it's way more than that. It's a moment, as many of you said, this is the first time that you've been successful in receiving a grant, or the first time you even applied. And you're at that precipice of, you know, taking another step in terms of expanding your service delivery and helping your fellow community members. And it's really very special to me personally to witness what we just witnessed. And I know others feel likewise up here. So with that, we'll go to Commissioner Moak.
Yeah, I'm super moving to hear and see all that. I've had the fortune of being a part of this commission for a long time, and these are those moments that it's like we got it right. You know, we got it right, and what that really means for this commission is getting out of the way. Is really what that means. I'm gonna sandwich this a little bit. I'm gonna first just be so proud of all of you that came forward, that put the time in, the energy in, put the fear aside, and applied and went through the process to do this. You are the experts of your communities, of the people who you get to work with and for every day. And so anyone from the outside coming in and thinking we know what is possible is idiotic to think about. You know, you are the experts, and so go and be the experts. Like now you get to do it. You've been doing it in one shape or another in multiple forms, but now it's like this. Maybe this gives you a little extra fuel in the tank to do some things that you've always wanted to do and wanted to explore. Here's the sandwich part. Having been on this commission a long time, I do realize that these moments that we get where we, you know, whether it's have a great leader that can take us down a path that allows for some extra resources to become available, in this case, millions of dollars, to be able to do some really special things in the community, doesn't always happen. We had it decades ago, a decade and a half ago, on a much smaller scale, and we got absolutely crushed in the media and in other places because we actually chose to go kind of this route, which was let the people decide, let the community drive what it is that they know is needed. And for some of us, it was a hard battle. It was a hard-fought mess that we found ourselves in. And what I would say to you is to think that this is going to be something that is there year after year after year after year after year for the next, I love it, 177 years or 171 years, some of you put a timeline in. It's just not, I hope it is. I hope there is another funding round and 2 more funding rounds and 5 more funding rounds. But those of us who have been around a while, Deborah Payne's up in the audience, we've seen this before, and sometimes it's just not there. And so be thinking right now what that looks like next. Like, think about what your next step is. So for some of these larger organizations, I see Women's Empowerment nodding, like, you're always thinking of what the next thing is to come. What's the next bite of the apple I got to take? And so I would just say, while you don't need to do it, you know? And so that's that part that I would just say, please don't forget. I wish we were just a bank account that can paper the place all the time, but that's not how this commission is set up. Fewer and fewer people are smoking. It's not tax dollars as much as we'd like it. It's people that are smoking tobacco products that's filling up our account. And fewer people are doing that. And people want this money. So, like, we don't know what it's going to look like. So just take advantage of that. And the last thing I'm going to say, sorry, I went long here, longer than I wanted. But the last thing I want to say is, I know you that came up and stood at the podium and were talking to us, but you really should be talking to this hardworking committee that did it all. Like, give me a break. You guys deserve all the credit. Seriously. Like, no joke, to spearhead it, because there's also some real challenge in saying no to things. Like, it sucks. It sucks to have to say no to stuff. But you did. You fought the fight. You chose what was really important. You found a great set of, like, this, we're all family now, whether we like it or not. So, like, you chose the family that we're going to roll with for the next while to do some of this incredible community work that's going to make people who made the decision to do this really proud, even after he's gone. We're talking about, like, he's going to watch every one of these commission meetings. But I just really want to make sure that you guys are getting the praise and all the people that were part of that you deserve. So well done.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good words. Vice Chair Guerra.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to also, as the person who's the newest here and had an opportunity to work with many of you in different capacities, I just want to say how grateful I am to see so many of them in one room. I mean, I've never experienced this in this context where so many people that are actually making change on the ground and helping the most vulnerable in this one room, and that's a lot of power. That's a lot of power to change what is happening out in our community now. I again also want to thank that committee because the thought about creating a conflict resolution process from the beginning and figuring out and recognizing that we have a challenge to really meet the need. I mean, that's more leadership than many times you see, even what we're seeing at the national level, or even, it's just crazy. So, so I just want to commend the community for that. So many of you I know are out there helping people when they're hungry, when they have no place to go, and just from also for all the childcare providers. My mother started in childcare when after the age of 50, and she decided to go into that. And so I just want to thank you for continuing that. It's not lost on me the challenges you guys are facing, and to say I'm grateful and encouraged to be with you as a partner moving forward, because we have to find different ways. We'll have to do that. So with that, Mr. Chair, I'm very grateful and thank the committee again and all of our staff for the hard work that was done to actually get to this today.
I'm going to take that as a motion. Is that a motion?
Thank you. Moved it.
Okay. We got a motion. Is there a second? Second. Okay, we got a motion and a second. We'll hear from others if they want to speak, but that was his long-winded way of saying this really beats a contentious city council meeting. Right? All right. Any others want to chime in here? Okay, seeing none. All right. Again, I want to thank the committee. Outstanding work. We all can learn a lot from the experience that you had and that you shared with us. And then again, congratulations to all the awardees. So we have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Yes, sir. Chair Serna.
Aye.
Commissioner Wesley.
Aye.
Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Gordon.
Aye.
Commissioner Casirian.
Aye.
Commissioner Boston.
Aye.
And Commissioner Moak.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
All right, very good. All right, next item, please.
Item number 10, approval of 2026 policy priorities.
All right.
Oh, could we do a quick photo op with everyone?
Oh, sure,
Would that be
absolutely.
Yeah, because you don't want to
okay?
stay for the rest of the boring stuff.
Leave right now.
No, but I know.
Do you want us down here?
Either or. Yeah, if we could get all the commissioners to come on down
Okay.
here, and then everyone that, all the grantees and Equity Action Committee staff, basically everyone in here. Everyone in here.
They want to be a little more communal.
Here we go. I got 4% left.
Yeah, all, yes, all. All right, you guys, squeeze on in.
It's just, I don't know where it came from.
Get up in there, get up in there.
Stand on the edge. Stand this way, maybe? So everybody can see. You gonna come out?
I'm gonna come out. Come on.
You wanna stand like you can stand here.
All right, y'all are looking good. Come on, get on in. Any of you that have good knees, get down on. Come on. I know. Turn this way. Hello. All right, ready? Okay, you guys, everyone look up here. I'm in the way. I'm always in the way.
There we go. 1, 2, 3. Got
Just
one.
keep smiling. We got lots of cameras going. Just keep smiling.
Look over there. All right. And now we need a first 5 one. Let me see your hand. First 5. That's okay. We got a sea of 5. So.
Everybody's good. Everybody's welcome.
Awesome. And if you guys are coming on your way out in the lobby, you can get a parking pass. So be sure to ask for your parking pass if you park in this lot.
No, I'm getting the ground.
Parking passes, you'll see them in the lobby. There'll be a couple staff. Did you park in the lot over here? Contracts.
I've never needed chapstick more in my whole life. I need chapstick right now. I know. Don't even have my real chapstick. I gotta go for my honey stuff. Okay. The food, I got chapstick.
I completely know that. This went on, I was like,
So, no, yeah, maybe. So it might have been. It might have been Wolf. I mean, it might have been I mean, I could look.
Okay, we're gonna continue the meeting.
Is this me?
If you can please take your conversations out in the lobby. We got to get through the rest of the afternoon.
The mic is.
Ready.
Okay, good enough. We gotta continue our meeting, so if you can take the conversations out there, that would be great. Thank you. Madam Clerk, our next item.
Item number 10, approval of 2026 policy priorities.
All right.
All right. Hey, Happy New Year. Greetings, Chair Cerna and Commissioners. This might be the toughest act to follow, but I will try my best and keep it short and sweet. The SOS Committee, we met in December to discuss and approve our 2026 policy priorities. Moving forward with these priorities, we decided that we wanted to align them with our 10-year strategic plan and our long-term investments. So you'll see the policy priorities are in your packet, and they now follow along with our strategic plan areas, which is racial equity, health and well-being, quality childcare, parent partnership, and systems improvement. So these principles, these priorities, they're grounded in the aspect of the whole child, whole family approach. And all of these priorities cut across systems to address access to services, workforce development, economic supports, and program sustainability. So together, all of these focus areas ensure our advocacy will remain strategic, it will remain targeted, and it will be aligned also with the First5 Association statewide policy agenda, who we look for them in guidance, especially in these turbulent times, as Julie is made aware for, that these will guide us to be able to take the action we need that best serves our family and children. And lastly, I just want to say thank you to the SOS Committee. You guys are the think tank, and you drive, you're the driving force behind all of our policy and advocacy, including what we just experienced today with these grants. So thank you, and that concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Erin. Any questions for staff? Okay, seeing none. All right, Madam Clerk, do you have anyone sign up to speak on this matter?
No, sir, we do not.
All right, then bring it back to the commission and entertain a motion.
I move to approve.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and second. Roll call vote, please.
Chair Cerna.
Aye.
Commissioner Wesley.
Aye.
Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Gordon.
He had to leave early. He did say he was in support of the priorities, so
Okay.
for what it's worth.
Thank you. Commissioner Casirier.
Aye.
Commissioner Boston.
Aye.
And Commissioner Moak. Commissioner Moak.
Aye.
Sorry.
It's okay.
All right.
Thank you. Motion passes.
All right, very good. Thank you very much. Okay, last item on our agenda is the commission members' opportunity to bring up any matters that are on their minds. Seeing none, I think then what we will do, just to kind of conclude where we started, is I would like to formally, for the record, adjourn in the memory of Rob Reiner. So if there's no further business before this commission, we will do so in memory of the late Rob Reiner.